What's up, guys? House Dealer merch from Price to Sell is now officially live. We have sweaters, we have t-shirts, charcoal gray like I'm wearing right now. We've got red House Dealer shirt, nice simple white. We got red, white, and black sweaters. Then we got the House Dealer hats. We have the red, the black, and the white like I'm wearing right now. So to grab your merch, head on over to mbhtv.com, and don't forget we're giving away $5,000 to a lucky winner who buys any of this merch or any of the merch from any of our TV shows on mbhtv.com. We're announcing the winner on July 29th. Good luck.
And then 2019, I'm at this backyard party, and Kyle pulled up to the house party, and then I start throwing Nino into the pool. Kyle introduces himself, then I start talking about what I do. I'm a trainer. That's how we just built a relationship. And recently, we did a 120-day transformation because he's known as the guy who drinks all the time. Obviously, a lot of people want to do it, right?
Can you guys believe today we have a Price to Sell exclusive? He declined other pods just to do it with me first. Someone who's taking the world by storm. Let's welcome first ever podcast, Jeff Gloria, on the show today.
I was in grade 3 and I weighed 110. Growing up, like kids on my street, they would always make fun of me. And I was like, you know what? I got to turn the switch, and I started working out. I just really focused on the things that a lot of people didn't focus on. Those 3 pillars: how to be the best person in your craft, learn how to be a people person, and learn how to be a business person. Study the people that are in that craft. And when I mean study them, don't just be like, oh, watch a video about them. Follow through with the actions of what they've done. Copy their blueprint and make it yours.
What up, everyone? It's Matt. I'm back. Another Price to Sell podcast. And can you guys believe today we have a Price to Sell exclusive? Because the guest today is actually, it's his first ever podcast. And he actually waited it out. And he declined other pods just to do it with me first. So this is a PTS first exclusive. And we have a legend in the making on the couch. Someone who's taking the world by storm in many different ways. Through his fitness expertise, training the Nelk Boys, building an incredible online brand, motivating all of us every single day, and even sharing a really beautiful relationship with his girlfriend, Gina, online. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome first ever podcast, Jeff Gloria, on the show today. Thanks for coming, man.
How you doing?
Fantastic.
That was quite the intro.
You know what?
I don't even want to talk for the rest of the pod.
I think we're done. And we're going to shout out New Tonic.
Yeah.
This is a pure just plug because Jeff brought them, and this is Chris Williamson's drink.
Yeah.
And
honestly,
it's a focused drink, and I feel focused.
Yeah, it's the only thing I've been drinking for energy drinks. I don't have a deal with them. There's none of that stuff. But I honestly support it because I like it, and it definitely helps my day. So.
And if you guys know Chris Williamson, one of the biggest podcasters in the world right now, this is his drink. Mm-hmm. But we're gonna get into the show. So Jeff, Jeff trains me in my fitness journey right now. Introduced me to a really cool style of training I've actually never done. I feel great overall, health wise. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that. But I want to get into who Jeff is.
That's the tough one.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to figure out who I am.
I think we all are.
Right. I think the biggest thing is like, I was like coming into this podcast and I'm like, oh, they're going to ask me like what I do, who I am, and all that stuff. And I'm like, shit, like it's hard to explain because like I do social media, but my primary job is to be an online coach, fitness coach. But I also want to start documenting pieces of my life and start making a movement with the brand that I'm currently building, which is Glorious. So it's like a mesh of content creator, online coach, and building this brand with merch. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
That's realistically what it is. And I don't know how you title that. Like
that's just you. That's just Jeff Gloria, you know? And I think a lot of you are going to find, like a lot of our audience is, you know, business people, entrepreneurs, real estate, you know, in whatever field they're in. But I think the value that they're going to gain is how you've built up your online brand, how you're networking with some of the coolest people in the world right now, and you're leveraging that, and you're building, and you're blowing up, you know?
I appreciate it.
So it's just like, I feel like a lot of the nuggets you're going to share, these people can apply to their business, to their online brands, to, you know, building up themselves like you've done. But how was younger, so pre-fitness, how was Jeff's life before, like younger Jeff?
Bro, I was a fat kid.
Were you?
Yeah.
No way.
I was in grade 3 and I weighed 110.
Oh,
Bro, I remember we were in grade 3 and the teachers were like, I don't know why this was even a question in grade 3, but everyone was weighing themselves and everyone was telling the teacher how much they weighed. And then I said 110 and everyone in the class was like, whoa, what the hell? Like, why do you weigh 110? And I'm like, bro, I don't know. I eat cookies and milk every night. Right? And I feel like after like grade 7, I started getting into training and all that stuff. I wanted to get in shape. I was like, I don't want to be fat. Right? And then throughout grade 7 up and through high school, like I was always in the gym. Like I was usually the guy after school doing like the extracurricular programs and working out with the fitness coach and all that stuff. And then I started watching YouTubers like Shawley Coker, Rob Lipset, all these guys. I was just like, holy shit, these guys have a crazy life. They're vlogging themselves.
quick side question. Were you ever a Z's fan?
No.
You never watched Z's? Like, never followed Z's?
No.
Okay.
I know who it is.
Okay.
But the reason why is I was never into like, I just wanted things to be like clean cut.
Fair.
Shawley Coker was clean cut. Christian Guzman was clean cut.
Yeah.
Rob Lipset was clean cut. They didn't have to like step outside of their box to be like this persona to get people's attention.
Fair.
And like that's how I'm pushing my brand is I don't want to start making skits. I don't want to start doing things that's out of like my comfort zone because of the fact that like that's just not who I am. And like, bro, if you see me start doing things tomorrow, you're like, what the hell? Jeff's trying too hard.
It's true.
It's gonna ruin my image.
It's true.
Right? And I care about it a lot in a sense of like I want to give people content and I want to deliver to people that like that's genuine. Right? And it's hard to do that in social media these days, right? Like when it comes down to the skits, I'll leave that to like my boy Kyle. Like leave it to the Nelk Boys. You know what I mean? You're really good at skits.
Thanks.
I really watch Matt's skits, and Matt, your skits are pretty jokes. But I feel like I waved off a little bit from that conversation. But before fitness and all that stuff, I was just a fat kid, and I remember I used to be clowned as a fat kid. Like my neighbors, my homies, growing up, like kids on my street, they'd always make fun of me, and I was like, you know what? I gotta turn the switch, and I started working out. And I believe when I was like 16, 17. My good friend Ian Cruz was like, yo, if you're watching these guys like Matt Ogus, Rob Lipset, Shawley, you could do the exact same thing. You know what I mean? So we started filming stuff for IG, but I was still trying to figure it out.
How old
you know
were
what
you?
I mean? 16.
Oh, wow. Young.
16. And then once I hit 18, 19, I was in school at George Brown College for business finance. Craziest story because I was in business finance and I love training. I love fitness. I always dedicated time to my day to work out, and I used to always dedicate my day to watch fitness videos. So I'm going to school at George Brown, and I remember my mom was like, you have to go to school, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Mom, like, I don't want to do it, whatever. And she's, no, you have to go into like anything. Just get a business degree. So I went, and I swear to you, no joke, my 3 years that I went to school, I spent those 3 years listening to Gary Vee, listening to all the fitness guys I listed every morning on the way to class. And I probably learned more about being a sales guy. I learned more about running a business. I learned more about being a people person just off those podcasts than I actually paid attention to class, right? I don't want to knock school, but it's just that I feel like school is more for like people who want to become a doctor, want to become an accountant. That's not what I wanted to do, right? So long story short is before fitness, I was doing that. Then I got into it, and I had this whole story of going to class, but I didn't want to really be there, and I was listening to all these guys that I just listed. And then, I don't know, it just became a snowball effect. I feel like I became a trainer when I was 18. I worked at a gym called SWAT, incredible gym, because it was like a personal training gym / chiropractor / physiotherapist treatment gym. And I learned a lot from this guy named Drew Scott. He was like the head trainer. This guy named Darcy, who was one of the owners, and this guy named Kyle Ardell. And when I was working at that gym, obviously listening to the Gary Vee stuff, I was learning how to be a good trainer through this guy named Drew, who was the head trainer. I was learning how to become a businessman through Kyle. And I was learning how to be a people and business person through Darcy Brown, right? And I just really focused on the things that a lot of people didn't focus on, and was those 3 pillars, right? How to be the best person in your craft, learn how to be a people person, and learn how to be a business person. And then I was always still creating content along the way. And then, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot more stories to talk about, but I don't know how to get into it.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time that you felt like quitting?
No.
Okay.
This is the crazy thing is you put me in business finance at George Brown, buddy. I want to quit the minute I walked into stats class.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking around in class. I'm like, I'm not saying I'm better than them, but I just feel like I didn't fit in because I didn't have the same interests as them.
For sure.
Right?
I can feel that.
And any time it came down to working out, it came down to creating content, my content wasn't the best back then. I still don't think my content's the best now, but because I'm always thinking about room for improvement. But I just felt that anytime I thought about fitness or anything that revolved around training, fitness, and what I'm doing now, I never thought that there was a plan B. I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to run with it. Right? So, yeah, I never felt like quitting.
And so now let's jump into Nelk, right? So you're doing all this like self-development, kind of maybe even unknowingly, but like you're getting all these aspects of life fed to you that you're now putting into place through your business and all that, right?
100%.
I kind of share a similar story where like unknowingly I'm like learning all these skill sets and traits that I'm now applying to my business. And I'm grateful that I had that, right? So, okay, so you're a trainer. You're developing as you go. You're kind of like unraveling as you go. Mm-hmm. And then opportunity to train Kyle, the Nelk Boys comes. How does that come to be?
Okay, so that happened back in 2019. So 2019, I'm still training at that gym called SWAT. And back then, bro, I used to drink a lot.
Okay.
Like, I have like my homies that I grew up with. We call each other the Core Four, because there's 4 of us: Amadeus, Luke, Andrew. Bro, we used to drink Keystone Lights at high school parties. Freaking Keystone Light was the drink. But being around those guys, they're all white boys, played hockey, played soccer, and those guys drank. And they're like my brothers, so like I was doing exactly what they were doing, right? So I was drinking a lot, and that just carried up until like probably 2 years ago. But I was drinking a lot, and then 2019, I'm at this backyard party, and I remember I was super hammered, and I see Nino, and I grew up in a white area, right? All my friends were all white. If I ever see another Filipino, it's kind of just like, whoa, kind of just like, the hell, I thought I was the only one, you know? So I see
beef.
Yeah, I know there's a little beef, Chris. But so I see Nino, and I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who Kyle was neither. And Nino pulled up. Kyle pulled up to the house party, and then I started throwing Nino into the pool, like just chucking him. And then I remember throughout the party, whatever, I'm being wasted. I threw Nino in the pool maybe 4 times. And then I meet Kyle. I'm sitting down, and Kyle introduces himself. He talks about Nelk and how he does YouTube and stuff. Then I start talking about what I do. I'm a trainer. And one of my friends actually facilitated that and told Kyle that I'm a trainer. And then that's how we just built a relationship. I told Kyle I was working at a gym called SWAT. Kyle would come check me at SWAT. And he told me that he's going back and forth to LA and back. So then from training Kyle, obviously he was blowing up. I think he was at 300K on IG. He basically started shouting me out. That started getting me more traction. And then, we just kept the relationship all the way through. And I think the biggest trip I did with him was during COVID, 2021. So from 2019 to 2021, I'm training him as he comes back and forth. He's shouting me out. Then I have another YouTuber named Kyle Stromedy. So Kyle Stromedy started training with me. The next thing you know, Kyle Stromedy's like, yo, like, I'm going to do this YouTube boxing thing. That's when it started blowing up. And he was like, yo, I need you to come out to LA. Like, I'll pay for everything. So 2021, I go out there. I train Kyle Stromedy. I'm living in LA. And the whole deal was to train him for 2 months. Tell me how I get there first month. 2 weeks in, I still haven't trained the guy. Already been paid for. And this guy tells me, he's like, yo, dude, like, it's not going to work out. Like, I'm just super busy. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like, I'm supposed to be here for 2 months. I don't have plans to go back home. And then I call up Kyle, and Kyle knew that I was in LA training this guy. And I told Kyle, I'm like, bro, this is the situation. Let me train you. Let me just crash on your couch. My trip that was planned for 2 months ended up turning to 5 months.
Oh, wow.
And then I was crashing on Kyle's couch. That guy does not get enough credit. Like, Kyle from Nelk, like, he was just like, yeah, no problem. Like, he let me crash on the couch. Dude, I was, like, sharing washrooms with, like, Salim, Jimmy Gambles. Anytime I had to go shower, to, like, creep and knock on one of the doors, but, yo, can I go shower or whatever? But Kyle just kept it cool. Like, I trained him. He gave me a place to stay. All the groceries were paid for. And then that honestly built our relationship really strong. And then he always believed in me because he trusted my training style. And then after that, it was just like living with him for 5 months, traveled with him. And then what was it? That's 2021. Come back home 2022, stayed home 2023. And then recently, if you're going to pop up the transformation, we did a 120-day transformation. And that's what honestly pushed me even more to do what I wanted to do, which is social media and all that stuff, because making his transformation internet breaking, because he's known as the guy who drinks all the time, to transform him and transform his life and make him more dialed. Obviously, a lot of people want to do it, right? But for some people, they might see it from a standpoint like, holy shit, that probably blew up your business. But that probably blew up my business in the sense that during the time that I was traveling with him, I was watching on how Kyle runs his business.
Yes.
And like how he prioritizes times on certain tasks and all that stuff. So I feel like from a young age, that's what I always did, was analyze people's actions and analyze the right people who are successful, right? And yeah, now Kyle's my homie, and that's a story from 2019. And now here and there, he has me coming out to going out on trips on the road with him to train him, which is really dope because I get to go see cool places, but get to train him too, and just learn more about how he's built the empire of Nelk, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's super cool. You've like, and I'll try and get the photos up for the video portion, but what a transformation he made. And I was very happy to see that because, as you said, like he seems like a really stand-up guy. The couch, just shouting, giving you a huge shout out too.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just putting you on like that was like, that's super
The
cool.
biggest thing is Kyle has the power to put people in position, but he's not going to babysit you.
For sure.
All the way. You know, because he didn't get babysat when he was blowing up.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, he knows how to make the place to facilitate to help someone grow. But the people that get those opportunities need to understand, like, bro, imagine, like, I'm training him. And my perspective was like, okay, yo, you know Dana White. Connect me with Dana White. Kyle's going to be like, what? I could make that connection, but what is Dana White going to get out of this?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And, like, I feel that he doesn't get enough credit because of the fact that people need to understand, like, I could connect you with XYZ. I could connect you with Chris Williamson. But don't be like, oh, fuck, he didn't come on my pod. Bro, all I did was facilitate the relationship. It's up to you.
Exactly.
I'm not failing you on him not coming on your pod. That's just something that I could facilitate, but it's up to the other party to actually want to do it.
Exactly.
Right? Because you like, especially being in that space with social media, you have to like grind, and like you have to accept the times where like people might not fuck with you, right? And like you can't take it personal, be like, yo, like, yeah, that person doesn't fuck with me, fucked up. No,
Exactly.
don't do that, because at the end of the day, if you say fuck you, you burnt the bridge.
Exactly.
Right? And if you just be like, you know what, like there's a ton of people that Kyle connected me to, and I just kept it cool. I never met them and was like, yo, can I take a photo?
Yeah.
Yo, can you do,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, you got to just keep it cool, because at the end of the day, like, you got to look at it from a standpoint. It's for you, for example, like, bro, if you met someone that was a fan of you, like a super fan, you're going to support them, XYZ, but you're not going to, like, there's just that relationship that you have with them that's a little different, right? So, yeah, I don't know.
And what are some key takeaways from like being in that inner circle? Because you want to like, you've been in close proximity, like through them, you like the proximity you've had to some other notable people in the world right now is probably pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So what are some key takeaways by like just being in the same room as these people that you've learned over time?
What are the key takeaways? What do you
Just
mean?
some key things that you've learned by just witnessing some of these super like highly successful people and how they operate over time. So like whether it's Kyle, the whole Nelk family, someone like Dana White, who like just being in proximity with those people and them being really successful. Like what are some things that you've like learned over time?
You got like, bro, growing up in Canada, like growing up in Mississauga, like there's a lot of shit that people don't see. And the shit that people don't see is like the actual time and effort and work that you got to put in. You know what I mean? Like I'm super tight with like my boys, the core four, because all of them are stand-up guys. Like one guy is running his dad's welding business. One guy is doing a bunch of mortgage work. The other guy works for Labatt, right? And all four of us have the same common trait, even though like they're not all doing social media. I'm still tight with them, but we have a bond because we grew up together, but we have a bond because we all grind, right? The biggest takeaways being in a room with those people is like, these people are actually about the word and they're actually about the work. You know what I mean? And they're not there to just be like, oh yeah, like I get to meet this person today. Oh, I'll get to meet that person today. Like everyone just shares a common interest, which is make a shit ton of money and build a community around their brand and take care of the people that work for them and take care of the people that support them, right? People want to start up like a clothing brand. Like I'm still learning on running this whole clothing brand thing. Like I get it. It comes down to proper quality when it comes to the printing. But the thing that's most important is building the community around it. And that's why I'm doing the Run Club this upcoming weekend, right? Because I feel that people could be like, oh, yo, I'm going to start a brand. I'm going to stamp something on it. It's going to sell. No. Like, what did you build behind that brand for people to actually, like, back on it? You know what I mean? And that's how I used to start when I started making Gloria shirts. It's been such an on and off project. It's still an ongoing, very early stage of the business. But I'm learning now because I'm studying other people on how they built their business. It's all about building communities, right? Like there's Dana White, who obviously owns UFC, but he has that UFC community. There's Kyle, who has Nelk, who has the Nelk community. There's just like all these people who are building their community and building proper quality products, and I don't know.
And leveraging it, yeah.
Yeah.
And who's the coolest person you met?
Chris Williamson.
Why?
So in social media, everyone's all about, oh, how many followers do you have? Whatever. Like the small social media people. How many followers do you have? These people who are super big, when they're really big, sometimes they don't give people time of day. There's one person I know, biggest asshole, right? He's massive on social media, but if a fan were to ask for a photo or this XYZ person were to ask for a photo, he's likely going to say no. And it's like, bro, this person looked up to you. You couldn't give him a second to be like, yo, here's a photo. I don't give a fuck if you had millions of people do that to you in your time of living and your time of fame. But you got to give back to these people that support you.
It's true.
Because these are the people that put money in your pockets. These are people that keep the lights on at home. But Chris Williamson is definitely one of the coolest dudes that I've met. I met him through Brian. But Chris Williamson, obviously, he has like 1 million something followers. He has a very successful podcast. He's just a super cool dude. He gives every person the time of day. He gives every person like the equal amount of respect. So that's why I support his brand, the Newtonic stuff. Like obviously the product's good, but it helps me back it up even more because of the fact that he's just a stand-up dude. He doesn't let the amount of numbers he has by his name like define him. You know what I mean? And he asks the cool questions. Like he met my girl in Miami when we had the Gymshark event, and like he greeted her so nicely. You know what I mean? He met my boy, and he remembered his name and everything, like all of that stuff, right? So he happens to be one of the coolest dudes because like he's just super down to earth, and he's very successful, and he still acts and treats everyone equally. And that's exactly how I want to be doing things. You know what I mean? But you know how hard it gets sometimes. Like, it's hard to keep up with all the names that you meet.
For sure.
It's hard to keep up with all the people that are around your life because you have all these tasks. That's exactly what I'm trying to learn right now.
Yeah.
So-
It's like the simple things, they go a long way. Like remembering the name and proper greeting and just being like a humble dude
Yeah.
while having such enormous growth. I think his journey, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Modern Wisdom, he's been doing it for over 6 years. Twice a
I don't know
week?
that much information.
Yeah, twice, and
Yeah.
we could fact check this, but like, there's a whole part of Chris that no one knew of, and time and energy.
Yeah.
So I feel like, coming from that and now exploding, like, he's gonna remain who he is.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I
But
feel
there's like being around a lot of people. It's not just Kyle that I've been around. There's been a lot of people that I've got my foot in the door with certain people. The biggest thing is like once you start building up that social media presence and you start having more followers, some people act different.
it's true.
You know what I mean? And sometimes the hard part is like they might not be coming from a standpoint where they're like, you know what, I'm different. I have all these followers. I'm more value. Sometimes it's just tough because it's overwhelming, right? Like my day to day now is super tough, and like I'm not anyone big. I just hit 100K, right?
Congrats.
And the biggest thing is now there's a lot more tasks, right? Like I want to do my merch. I have online coaching, which is the primary thing. I also have my relationship. I also have a new puppy, and
Cash.
Yeah, and I also create my own content.
Yeah.
Right. I still don't have the trust to put it in someone's hands because I like what I produce and I know what my followers like. So having all these tasks, there's certain people I might not be able to see, loved ones, friends, or whatever it is. And the toughest thing is like balancing all that out. And so my point of this whole thing that I'm saying is sometimes when people blow up, they might be overwhelmed to keep up with all the relationships they had in their life prior to them blowing up. Or they could just be a fucking complete jackass. And there's an expiration date on those guys.
Yeah.
Right? But the people like Chris, those guys are going to last long. But why? Because that guy's fucking busy. You know what I mean? When I mean fucking busy, like exactly what I just listed out, like my day-to-day task, he probably has that by 10.
Yeah.
Right? And he has an operation of people that he has to take care of.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Right now, I'm actually searching up for a book on how to be like a team player.
Okay.
Because I want that next step of my
You want
my
you
business.
want the book?
Say again?
You want the book?
Yeah.
Who, not how.
Okay.
Dan Sullivan.
You're gonna text me that because I'm
I
gonna
will.
forget it.
It's a good one.
I just feel like that's the next step for my business. Is I want to start creating a team and actually supplying and helping people get a job, but also learn how to be the best boss there is.
Exactly. Awesome, man. Leadership.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's the journey I'm on right now, learning how, because we got solid squad on the couch over there. Shout out Jesse, shout out Chris, shout out Dean too. I show you out too much, man. You gotta start e-transferring me. Kidding. Dean's the best.
No, you have a solid team.
Yeah,
Straight up.
everyone's good. We're blessed. And it's a learning curve. Like we learn as we grow. It's like any business, for
How long
the
have
viewers
you
out
been
there
doing this
too.
for?
The team building thing,
Yeah.
like a year and a bit. Yeah,
How long have you been doing real estate for?
8 years
Okay, so now you're hitting your 10-year grace period,
soon.
right? So
Yeah.
now it's gonna be like, I believe in the 10,000 hour rule and the 10-year rule.
Yeah.
You heard of it? You heard of it, right?
A big time, yeah. Longevity. Everyone stops after like a year or 2 or 3, and I want to get into like social media now and like personal brand and stuff, and ask you. So first off, for your content, what are some tools you're using? So you're doing your own content, you're editing. What kind of tools are you using to
My iPhone.
iPhone? And then what kind of
Video Leap.
platform?
Video Leap.
Video Leap to edit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just use my
Is it
iPhone.
better than CapCut?
I don't know how to use CapCut.
Okay, true, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I like using the things that are simple and easy.
Yeah.
My girl uses Splice, I believe. Sometimes CapCut. But I used to do a lot of things on my camera. But then it just became such a drag to like have to open up my laptop, put my SD card, wait for it to load, transfer, boom, edit. I was doing that a lot before. I remember when I was training Kyle back in California, Salim came into the back and he was just like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Editing a video." And they always trip out because I'm a trainer. But they trip out because I'm creating content. But content creation, I just use my iPhone now. It's quick and easy and simple. And
Yeah.
you see my content. Like
It's
my
great.
videos aren't longer than 10 seconds or 13
Yeah.
seconds. I keep it short, straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
But I do all my content based on attracting more eyes to my page, and obviously in hopes that they'll understand the message of getting in shape, living a healthier lifestyle, living a dialed lifestyle, and hopefully they work with me.
And what's content that works best for you right now, that people should be doing, that you think?
What do you mean?
Content that's working right now, that's getting good engagement, that's hitting. Obviously, there's some content that you can post.
There's the workout stuff. So like, I always love giving out free game, especially when it comes down to like the people around me that I know has the potential to do it. And like, I always study on like proper hooks, proper catches, obviously having a good message behind the videos, because that's what keep people engaged, right? Like you could look good, but bro, like if all you do is, oh, hey, I look good, blah, 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 that's not gonna get far. That has an expiration date.
It's true.
If you're always just taking your shirt off and taking photos with your abs, that shit is gonna fucking die out.
Yeah.
Right? But you need to always have a message behind it. Like you could have your shirt off in the beginning of the video for guys, right? But there actually needs to be value of like a proper workout, right? And then the caption breaking down like what are form tips. Bro, I'm like a scientist when it comes down to it. I feel like I'm the dumbest of dumbest coaches out there, but I know how to dumb it down for a lot of people, right? I like to simplify things for training because, bro, there's kudos to the coaches who are like super knowledgeable and they're super scientific behind their stuff. But the average human who has a job, for example, you have real estate. You're dealing with a lot of properties. You're dealing with a team. You don't want to have to be thinking too much when it comes to your workouts, right? You want to be like, yo, you know what? Jeff is giving me a program. Obviously, you're going to trust it because I know what I'm doing. And I'm sequencing it specifically because I have my 10 years of experience. I have all my skills. I have my stripes in it, right? So when I put these workouts together, I'm the one doing the thinking. When I'm putting your meal plan together, I'm doing the one thing. I'm doing the stuff that you're not supposed to be doing, right? If you're following a meal plan, sometimes people are like, oh, you shouldn't be giving that to your clients. Like, bro, I'm not giving my client a crash diet, right? You might be surprised, like, yo, Jeff, you're giving me a generous amount of carbs. Well, it's like, brother Matt, you legit see so many people throughout the day. You have all these things that you have to function to. If I'm going to make you crash diet, what's going to happen? You're going to text Chris, be like, yo, Chris, I can't go to that viewing, bro. I feel like shit, right? And on top of that, I always, whenever I have a client call with my coaching, I always tell my clients, I'm like, yo, they're like, oh, yo, Jeff, like I weigh 210 pounds. I want to get down to 160. It's like, bro, have you ever been to 160? When's the last time? Maybe 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years ago, right? If you're trying to get down to 160 now, are you going to be able to function? Are you going to be able to go to work and be the best person? Are you going to be able to be the best partner for whoever you're dating? You're going to be the best son for your parents. Are you going to be able to get it up? Right? Bodybuilders, for example, when they get to a certain degree, those guys are the fucking meanest people, right? Because why? They're depleted. They're at the lowest calories. They're at the lowest body fat percentage. Everyone wants to look a certain way until they actually feel it. They're like, holy shit, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So my next point is, a lot of times when people work with me, I don't want them to be like, yo, I got a trainer, I got a coach, and I got in the best shape of my life. And you look at them, you're like, it's 2 years down the line, and you're like, what happened? It's like, oh, well, I don't have a coach anymore. I want to teach people to work with me, and then after the months that they work with me, that they could carry this on for the rest of their life, right? For example, when you're running or you're doing your cardio, I'm not killing you. You're still getting the results, but I'm not killing you because you want to do this when you're 50. You want to do this when you're 60, right? And that's the motion that I'm trying to push with my side of coaching. And like, not many people see it because I just post the cool videos. I post the fit pics and stuff. But what people don't see is like, I want to create longevity and sustainability for everyone that works with me, right? And more people need to hear about it.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's fun. It's cool, man. Like I said, I love the training. You're training some really close friends of mine. Shout out Zoe, putting him through a 6 transformation.
Zohib?
He's crushing it. You joining him at the marathon was wicked to see. Love that you did that.
Yeah.
I think he was so hyped. Even tell me, like, as soon as Jeff joined me, he's like, man, it's just like, he was
Yeah,
just
and
so hyped.
I feel like that's what
good stuff. It's good stuff.
I have a few other clients in the States. I have a client out in San Francisco, and I have another client out in LA. And they're telling me, bro, they transformed themselves. And one of my clients just did a 10K race. Another client's doing a High Rocks race. They're starting to do shit that I like to do, which is their races now, right? But I want to just be that coach. Like, I get I do social media. I want to grow my name to 1 million. The crazy story is I remember my mom. I was like, Mom, I hit 100K. She's like, oh, that's great. Hit 1 million now. I was like,
go,
bro,
Mom.
what? But as long as I continue to grow, I still want to be normal in a sense to be there for the people that I'm coaching. You know, like I want to do that race with Zoe, but then I got swindled on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh,
Bro, $90. I paid someone $90, and this person, I didn't respond because I have a busy day, and they messaged me back. They're like, "Hey, this is unfair. I transferred you the marathon bib, and I still don't have no money in my account." I'm like, "All right, dude. Like, so sorry, whatever." Sent them the money. Bro, 2 days away from my race, I'm like, "Yo, where's my bib? Like, what's going on?" And they're like, "Ghosted me. Just complete ghosted
Oh, wow.
me." So that's why I didn't do the full race with Zoe.
I see.
So I was like, yo, you know what? I'll just meet Zoe halfway and finish it off with them.
Yeah, it was good to
But
see, man.
dude, like all my other clients, what I was saying that they're doing races is like now I'm planning to do races with them, right? I want to do Zoe's first High Rocks race in Toronto. Like I want to do it. I already have it planned. I already have a partner planned. But like the more I'm building my name, the more I'm building my brand, I feel like it's more important for me to take care of the people that I'm taking care of.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So next year I'm doing a race with my client from San Francisco in Arizona. I'm trying to figure out a High Rocks race with my client from LA. So, dude, like I'm not making a shit ton of money. Obviously to the degree that I want to see myself in. But I'm going to get there soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to make this shit happen where I could just take a flight or pay for a hotel and all that stuff to support these guys.
Yeah, which is awesome.
But I know that shit will come in time, right?
Yeah, well, you said, Keith, you see yourself.
Yeah.
You already have the visuals. You're good. Yeah, it's awesome stuff, man. It's good to see the genuineness. You know, it's always nice, especially in this world we live in. But I want to end off with some rapid fire questions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So gonna be quick answers on the spot. And we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I might be shit at that, but
Well, you're not. So the first one is, how is it dating another fitness influencer?
it's amazing. It has its challenges, but it's definitely amazing. So Gina, work out with Gina. She's my girlfriend. She is honestly killing it.
She is. She really is.
We met, then we started talking, and then we just got into it. And she was at like what, 60K followers, and I was at like maybe like what, 12. And we just got connected because obviously we share the same interests in the sense of like creating content, love working out. And then we just honestly, once we started dating, we started just pushing each other. Like I noticed a big push between me and her, like with my training, with my content, and we were just able to help each other out with that, right? And the biggest thing is like a lot of times people could get lost dating someone else that does social media. But we had a conversation. I told her, I'm like, yo, you got to realize too, like if you get to 1 million first, or if I get to 1 million first, like I've been around this space enough to see the change in people's personas, people's actions. I'm like, don't lose yourself with doing this. And she agreed to it. And that's the biggest thing is like, someone could blow up on social media and next thing you know, they're like, I'm more important than you, more important than you, more important than you. Do not have that mindset. Mm-hmm. You're the dumbest thing. Yeah. Dumbest thing you could do.
For sure.
But we don't have that perspective on our relationship. And people say like, oh, yo, you guys should create your own YouTube channel like Jeff and Gina. Bro, that's a recipe for disaster. Mm-hmm. You might as well, that's like tattooing your partner's name on your body before even getting married. Like that's just bad luck.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. Just straight up, it's been great. It's been a blessing. A lot of lessons, obviously. Mm-hmm. But those lessons are good.
Yeah, it's cool. I you guys are in the same field, so like you're growing together. If you could have dinner with anyone in the world, who would it be?
I think Jay-Z.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I think I've always I was a big fan of 50 Cent and Jay-Z growing up, obviously because of their music, but more so the success that they built, right? Like when 50 Cent landed that Smart Water deal, that was epic. And then what? Jay-Z was like one of the first black billionaires. And like obviously Jay-Z's story where like, bro, imagine like you meet this crackhead on the street. Well, he's not a crackhead. But imagine meeting this drug dealer on the street who makes music and then now is in the room with all these big people like Warren Buffett and all that stuff. Like Jay-Z's definitely one dude I would like to have a conversation with just because of the fact that he's super successful. He has a story behind him. He's been in the dirt. Yeah. That's one person. There's a lot of other people that people would mention, but I feel like I'd probably meet them in my lifetime.
Okay, fair.
But not Jay-Z. I don't know why I would end up in a room with Jay-Z. I don't know how.
You will probably now. Now it's happening.
Yeah, we'll see. Big manifestor over here. Eh?
Yeah.
Do you talk to yourself in the mirror?
Yeah.
Actually?
I dance in the mirror too. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people tell me like, yo, you should talk to yourself in the mirror. I'm like, that's one of the hardest things to do.
Never really done that, no.
Yeah.
I just write a lot. Who's the best real estate agent in Toronto? Well, we're the same now.
Yeah.
We're like a package.
Yeah. Chris Campoli.
So Chris Campoli is an NHL player, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah. Holy. Yeah, that was a hard one. Fuck. These guys got my place for Gina and I.
Yeah, we hooked it up.
Yeah.
Hooked it up. Fun process. And just ended off, with a nice piece of wisdom. Advice for the aspiring entrepreneur, business owner, influencer. What would be a piece of advice you'd drop for them?
Figure out who you are, right? Figure out who you are. Like have that passion to actually like build up your name, build up your craft, and study the people that are in that craft. And when I mean study them, don't just be like, oh, watch a video about them. Like look at how they talk, look at how their body language is, and that will actually go a longer way. And I feel like, what are you guys smiling about?
No, he's on FaceTime.
Oh, here we go. But yeah, no, my biggest advice is to study who you want to become. Study the people that are doing really well in your craft and follow through with the actions of what they've done, right? Copy their blueprint and make it yours, right? I feel like I don't follow a bunch of fitness people. I follow a lot of business people. And I know that I'm doing fitness, but now I need to intertwine the business people skills into the craft that I'm currently doing. Right?
Smart.
Is that a good wisdom tip?
That's great because I'm that's
it's what you do.
That's what I do. A lot of people say that. I was just reading Patrick McDavid, Your Next 5 Moves, and he's huge on discovering yourself first, whatever that takes, and then you can grow. That's like your foundation,
You know who Aaron Spivak is?
Yes.
Good friend
Hush
of mine.
Blankets,
I worked for him before at Revitalize. He built Hush Blankets, and dude, like, not many people know that we know each other, but that guy's super successful in the city. He's built that what is that, like a couple million, right? 35 million deal with
it was a big
Sleep
one.
Country. But his work ethic, his skills, his knowledge behind running a proper business is someone that I definitely looked up to and studied. But he was always the type to be like, yo, what do you want to do? Okay, cool. Learn who the fuck's the best at it. All right, great. Study that person. All right, great. Make it your own.
Yeah.
Right? Too many people overcomplicate the formula. All you have to do is actually be your own person. Don't be shy to talk. Don't be too shy to talk. Don't be too shy to take action. And don't be a fanboy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the biggest thing. As long as you don't be a fanboy, like you could get into a lot of rooms.
For sure. Can't reinvent the wheel. That's why I do the pod. Just to, success leaves clues. Have, really successful people on the couch with me. I learn a lot every single time. The audience does too. And then it's just up to you guys to implement and put into action. But Jeffy, brother Jeff, you've been awesome. If you want to do some, plug anything in, like where can they follow you? Let's plug in Glorious. Let's plug in your run club.
Dope. All right. Fuck.
Oh, plug it in.
How do you want me to end? What do you mean plug it in?
Plug it in. Where can they follow you?
All right. How do I end this right now?
What's your
I'm
at?
fucking shitting my pants right now. Holy shit.
Are you?
All right. That was a great pod.
your
Follow
at?
my IG
Yeah.
at Jeff Gloria. Follow my brand at Glorious Athletica. You'll just plug it in here, right?
Yeah, we'll plug it in.
Cool. But yeah, no, that was a dope pod. I'm shitting my pants right now. This guy just put me on the spot. Holy shit.
And
Keep that in the video.
We're gonna keep it.
I want people to see that this shit ain't easy. And people
This is
like
his first
myself,
pod, guys. You did good, man.
people like myself will still shit their pants. I swear to you.
Jeff
Holy
did good. He did good. He's shitting himself right now. It's the first time we've had someone shit themselves on the pod. But it's his first time. So thank you, Jeff, for blessing us.
I appreciate it.
And for all you guys, links in the description where you can find him, follow him. A ton of value for you guys to see. Whether you're in business, anything. A lot of tidbits you guys can take from him. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with a friend. If you found value, share it with a friend because they will find value too. And follow me too if you want. I'm pretty cool.
We'll run this back in like 2 years and we'll see where my story's at then.
No more shitting.
Yeah, no more shitting. Well, maybe. I don't know. Fuck. There's so many other things I'm thinking about throughout the day that I'm probably still going to shit my pants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back for round 2 of Jeff shitting his pants on Price to Sell. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Of course. Peace.